had some places got some snow, and then we had tornadoes. We had tornado watch yesterday. The sirens went off, and you look down the street, and
Oh,
everyone's standing out there
wow.
like looking. But and then we had high winds. We always have high winds out here. I mean, nail everything down. And but they were pretty bad today. The dogs would not want to. They didn't want to go outside because they don't like the wind. And it's been. I'm surprised I'm even on the air. That I have internet. Actually, I mean, I'm just surprised that everything works. You know.
Yes, I know it's been, they've said up to 50-mile-an-hour winds here. So
Mm.
it's been very, I had all the things that are not tacked down really great are
Right.
going to be gone. And I have this huge plant umbrella that I place all kinds of ivy and things on, and climbing flowers, and it's laying on its side. So I've been stashing all of the heavy duty pots all around, and trying to get them to hold it up, and you have to make sure that it's not plastic, because plastic will pop in half. So you have to make sure
Yes, it
it's
will.
pottery, and
Hmm.
so it's real crazy.
Well, we haven't lost any power or services, and the house is still here, and the yard isn't damaged. So, I guess
And
we're okay.
Toto is still there.
And Toto and his friend are still here. So, we're okay.
Good.
I just been on this whole thing with domestic chores lately. I mean, it's just been busy, and um, just
Yes.
cooking, baking, cleaning, vacuuming. I even vacuumed the dogs. I just got so tired of all their hair. And actually, they enjoyed it if you do it right, if you have the right stuff. I mean, the right attachment, and the dogs just love it. It's like at first they're like, "What are you doing?" And then afterwards they're like, "Wow, that was really awesome."
Exhilarating.
So, yeah. So
Yeah,
now
well,
they
it
come out.
doesn't work.
Now when I vacuum, they come out. They don't run away. They're like, "Oh, oh, cool," And Bugsy will fall asleep next to the canister, and it's making all this racket. And he's like, "Oh, I love this. I love this thing."
It doesn't work so great with cats.
No,
Um,
I wouldn't try that on a cat. No. No, I don't even
right
want to
now,
try to wash a cat. I don't have them, and I know that they don't like being, well, unless they're used to it, and if you've gotten them used to being washed, or if they really, really need it, they usually don't like it, and they usually take care of that themselves, you know. So,
yes. Well, for me, I have some long-haired cats, and it's kind of an animal rescue here. I take in whatever critters are presently without homes, and feed them in the
right.
wintertime. And it is, if it weren't for my Dyson vacuum cleaner, we'd probably go insane, because
Mhm.
it helps out so much just to be able to have that extra. Um, Dehairing, and it was a pet
Right.
vac. So for us, that's been a godsend. So, a lot of this cleaning and a lot of this, what do you call, domestic uh, rebirthing of the house, you know?
Hmm.
Don't you think that that has a lot to do with rebirth of the season, and just the way that this time of year kind of brings out to you?
I think so. I think it's something that we do unconsciously, and it's also a practical thing,
Yes.
your house has been closed up all winter long. Uh, you'd want to air it out, and that's what I did yesterday. I mean, all the windows were open, and I just to get rid of all the human dander. Also, I mean, even though I do vacuum regularly, there's a certain amount of human dust in a house
Oh yeah.
that, yeah, I just
Yeah,
want to get.
you're shedding skin cells, they're shedding skin cells, and it's really
Hmm.
kind of
That
it's
must be
a
why a new place doesn't feel like home until you've gotten your skin all over it, you know? So maybe that's why it takes a while to feel like you're
oh,
home. I
gross.
don't know. It is gross, isn't it? It's
It
it just
is.
occurred. It's like, well, that was a nice random thought, Joe.
I like that. Just keep on saying
Yes.
those random thoughts. And,
Oh.
my
Mm.
mother and I were talking today. We always get on these political arguments and stuff. And she was saying, she says, she's like me. We both voted for Hillary, who did really well yesterday. But we both understand the message of Bernie and even Trump that the middle class is leaving us for the rich people and all of their, you know, they're just, I can remember 7 years ago, I was buying groceries and we together were able to pay the bills so easily. And
Right.
now it's like check to check, and we're paying an extra 150 for what we spent on, 7 years ago. So it's like, I can totally see how things are getting out of hand, and I don't know how a lot of people do it. But on the other
Right.
hand, we were saying, isn't it strange if that's come that far, that behind in poverty in 5 to 7 years? Is it going to get that civilization goes from, is it going to go where mankind goes from civilized back to tribal just to be able to make it? Are people just going to have to join communes and be able to live in groups to be able to share a vehicle and have to share a small colony of homes to be able to make it, the way things are changing so much?
Well, I live in a household of adults who are not related to each other.
Yep. Well,
You know, this house is owned by Dave, and I'm here all the time. I live here, and we share a house, and it is another person here that's here 90% of the time, and then now there's two dogs also. And it's not unusual for people to decide, I just need to group up and save some money. And
it's,
I mean,
and
seriously, you
we
know,
are doing, yep.
sometimes you have to do that. And it actually, if you're with nice people, and if you're with good friends, it works out. If you all contribute something to the household, that keeps it going, and it works out very well. As long as everybody pulls their weight and contributes, it works out
And
very well.
that is the trick, because I can remember reading
Hmm.
the Diary of Anne Frank.
All right.
And you remember the Diary of Anne Frank? Everything went great while they were hiding from the Gestapo, until certain people would eat all the food, or certain people would
Right.
would shuck off on all of the responsibilities. Then it goes from being something that is wonderfully affordable to a dread. So my sense is that, yes, I grew up. Oh, I didn't grow up. Yes, I did grow up. I started out in commune life, but
Hmm.
I went on to being from those human dynamics of some people doing it all while other people took advantage of them. But I think that's because people have not been raised in communal type settings. People do not understand the responsibility of living as a group, because everybody was raised in single households. So I believe that when it gets to the point where the only way people are going to make it is through a communal type living style, if the financial situation starts getting worse and worse and worse, and the 1% is running the world and the rest are living, barely making it. Those of us that have learned how to survive through communal life, and whether it be a large home, which I believe that's the only way large homes are going to be affordable eventually, is a lot of us are going to go back to little tiny houses that can be turned into millions of little rooms with walls, the tiny house, or we're going to have to share houses, just to be able to pay the bills, because the average factory job is now going to be run by machines, and a lot of people's jobs are going to be obsolete.
Mm. Well, it's easier to live with people if you've come from a large family. I'm, maybe that's not true, but I came from a large family, so there's a lot of things that you're taught about other people because you're not all the same, and you have to grow up with different personalities, and you have to get along because you're not going anywhere. And so what what you come to realize about your life is that uh, for the early part of your life, you spend a lot of time being forgiven and forgiving. You get used to, you start to understand that people have bad days and sometimes they don't do what they're supposed to
You
do.
leave them alone.
Well, here's the thing that I've learned is like, well, if I want the table cleared and nobody's cleared it, and I know no one's going to clear it because it doesn't look like it's going to be, apparently they don't mind it. So I have a choice. I can clear the table and just clear it and go about my other business, or I could bitch about it, or I could clear it and bitch about it. And so I just simply clear it and I move on. And if I don't want to clear it, I don't say anything. I just leave it. And if I figure they don't mind it, then I'm not going to worry about it. If that's what you
Yeah.
want your house to look like, I keep my spaces clean. But if you want this, and you know, it gets cleared because I usually clear it. But I know that if I don't, they will eventually clear it. I mean, when they run out of dishes. So,
And I'm a right angle person. I get very flustered, and I guess that's the monk in me.
hmm
I was raised
but you
in a
see, either
family
do
of
it,
putting in right
right? Just
angles.
well, the thing is, do it if you want it done, you do it, and you just go about it, and you do it, and you do it happily because it's your choice,
I
and
want to say hello to Melissa and Russell and Jan, who are in quick and looking for readings, and we will get to you in just a minute. There's also Susan from Massachusetts. So we will. Do we want to discuss our topic first? I think it might be a good idea.
well, I'll leave that to you. I mean, how much? I mean, let's see. Well, okay, what you wanted to talk about Easter
The
and
similarities between Easter and the pagan holiday, which please know,
well, actually,
this is
they both occur in the spring, and it has to do now. Is it called the spring equinox? But isn't that when the planting season starts? And because now we've had that. It coincides and it coincides, I suppose, for a very good reason. From what I understand, the Christians planned or rather, located their holidays to counteract the pagan holidays. That's why they are at the same time, or pretty much around the same time.
yeah,
You
it was
know,
called Easter. Easter is the pagan connection to Easter,
yes.
and it says
It's the planting season is what the basis of most of these religions.
mhm.
Even the Christian religion. It's really, when you think of it, the arrangement of many of the princes of these religions. The sons of the deities and stuff. And there's always somebody that is sacrificed. You know, to ensure crops.
Well, there
And
was all kinds of different ways to fertilize the crops, including
well,
menstruating women and all kinds of things. But
oh, really? I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah, different, all kinds of
Well,
things.
that is something
Or
to
having
to.
sex inside the pagan sex inside the fields. But that is not what this necessarily is about. It says a lot. It says the goddess name Eostre, Astor, also known as Esther.
Okay.
Is She was the goddess mentioned by a scholar in a book, De Temperon. Oh my goodness, these names. And anyway, it was April that was known as the Anglo Saxons. Uh, Esther month, named after Esther. However, this goddess does not appear anywhere in Germanic mythology. So there's a lot of contradiction on the Easter holiday. And mostly, I think you're right. It's about rebirthing. It's about all of the different beautiful things like eggs and feasting, and all of the things that we do now are so similar as the pagan holiday, which was about
Hmm.
feasting and about probably the spring lamb and all that, and yes, I suppose at one time there were sacrifices, and whether that sacrifice was a butchered pig or a butchered lamb or whatever it was.
Right.
Anyway, it's all very interesting, but the main thing is it's about a goddess named Esther, and when Esther showed up on the goddess scene, um, there was a lot of mystery about her, but the theory is that Esther was inspired during the same time as Easter on the pagan calendar in the celebration of the high feast of Astara. During the celebration, there are chants to the goddess Esther. There is a feeling of love and hope, time for planting and new beginnings, and all of these attributes sounds rather similar to Easter.
Oh, wow.
So, and gosh, there is so much similarity between Christmas and Easter and all of these things,
Well,
aren't
they
there?
are. There are the way we celebrate them here in the United States, and how the whole commercialism. I mean, it becomes very well. It's like we all know what they sell at these times, and so. But I don't do a whole lot of decorating. I mean, I do the lights for Easter. I mean, not for Easter, but for Halloween and Christmas, and that's about it. Um, I do
But
enjoy coloring eggs.
I love it. It's so fun. I never grew up
Yeah,
out of that. Do you like
I
these?
like it. And I
Yes,
just buy the simple ones. I buy the simple ones that you use the vinegar. It's the little pellets, the colored pellets. And you let them dissolve in vinegar, and then you add the hot water or water or cold water or whatever, however it's done. And see, every time I smell white vinegar, I think of Easter eggs
Easter, Easter eggs.
because I've
Yes.
associated that smell with white vinegar.
Oh
And it's like,
yeah.
wow. So it's like I've been smelling white vinegar
Childhood
because
memory.
yeah, well, I use it as a cleaning fluid. I mean, because it's a non-toxic, it's caustic, and it does get things clean. It does. It does. And if you need to get rid of lime from your dishwasher, you do a
Oh
spin, throw in a
yeah, or
few. Yeah.
skillets that are full of lime.
Yes.
Salt and
So I've been
vinegar will take it
smelling this
away.
vinegar a lot lately, and it's like, I really want to color eggs this year because I enjoy it.
I'll
And
come over and color them with you then.
and really, I hate to admit it, but for me, Easter and the holidays are really pretty much about food. I mean, because I'm thinking
Yeah.
about now is like a baked ham, and I don't usually eat ham, but for Easter I want a ham, and I like the leftovers, and it's to me it's a food fest. I mean, frankly, I mean just like all of them are. I mean, it's a chance to have fun food that lasts for a while. Could have great leftovers, and I'm thinking ham salad or maybe ham quiche, for
Mm,
breakfasts and all
mm,
sorts of
mm, mm, mm,
things.
mm,
I
mm.
love Easter. So,
Yeah. Here I was going to say also the similarities of the pagan holiday of over the goddess Esther. For instance, rabbits were taken from a symbol of Esther and her fertility. And colored eggs,
okay, I could see that.
eggs
Yeah.
are all part of the pagan festival and celebration too.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really. I mean,
And
I could see the logic
while
in it.
Jesus is the
Yeah.
star of Easter, there
Mhm.
are pagan rituals clearly a part of the holiday. Esther and Easter are so close together in date that it would make sense that some pagan rituals are picked up along the way. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, it's even stated about 300 years before the timing for Easter was selected. Who knows what else got mixed into the holiday? And
Well,
especially with
Easter is unique because it will change with each year because Easter is planned around the solstice. I mean that's why it's we sometimes have early Easters and late Easters because it's all now Christmas is always on the 25th, no matter what. But Easter, that's the one that moves around because that one still, even with the
The Ides.
Christian views, it is still chosen for its astrological, events that are occurring on that day. That's why it keeps moving. Okay.
Right.
So I
Right.
think I find that very interesting,
Yes.
that
Yes.
now I could see it moving around for the pagans, because they're going for the they're looking at the astrology. Um, but it surprises me that really that the Christians would actually do that, to follow that for that holiday. So I think that's kind of neat.
Very
And
interesting. Let's
uh,
start. Do you want to do some readings?
well, sure. Who was the first person that you
The
mentioned?
first person was Melissa from South Carolina, and she says, "Hello, Amory and Joseph. I am
Hi,
presently
Melissa.
unemployed and would like to know if either of you see a job in my near future. Thanks so much." And Melissa's from South Carolina.
Well, I do see you. I what I chose here was the chariot, and the chariot, right side up, symbolizes forward motion. So that is
Mm,
very good, especially if you're looking for a job. Now, it's a lot of energy, and it's not. I see you moving ahead at a directed and controlled pace towards your goal, and I do see that you are going to get there. Now, that I'm seeing here a sevens for the chariot, because that is the seven, is labeled as a seven card. So, gosh, you might hear news within a week or possibly maybe about 2 months.
You know what?
Between
I have the
between a
same
week and two
thing that
months.
if there's any
Yeah,
news, it'll be this month, and then there's kind of a window that closes. But there's
yeah,
also a word of caution. And the word of caution is don't get real motivated and then stop.
yeah.
Because I
Keep
feel that
going. Keep the forward motion going.
one of the things that's happening, Melissa, is that I see that you can't let down, it's kind of like you can't let the no's and the letdowns stop you from taking a chance.
And
So
don't dwell on small issues. Don't choose your if you're going to get worked up over something, choose it carefully, because it can get you down if you get involved with some little BS things like that and worrying about stuff, but you know what, like Anne Marie said, keep going. Don't
don't
stop.
quit.
It's going to
Don't
work out.
quit.
You're on the
Don't
right
quit
path.
looking.
Yeah, you're on the right
We have Russell from
path with all your
Cleveland, and he
work.
says,
Yeah.
"Hi, I've been having issues sleeping and daytime drowsiness and a couple of other things as well. What can you pick up?"
Well, it's funny that he should say that because I've been hearing a lot of people complaining about that, and I must say that even I, have been having a problem with it. Now, I drew the Empress uh, in response to this question, and she symbolizes a need to be in touch with your spiritual side and a need to listen to your intuition. It could be that you need to consider your dreams in this matter. I mean, other than that, I see things going very well for you in spite of this feeling that you have. I see that people are going to find you very inspiring because you have a lot of good ideas. But I'm also seeing that it's a message to let your inner voice guide you a bit more in how you operate. You I'm seeing that many people that people there's an attraction to you for other people. Other people find you rather attractive, and you're going to see some signs of that if you have your doubts, and coming soon. But really, I'm seeing it as a message that you need to pay more attention to something going on inside spiritually. Is something that you're overlooking, and that's why you're feeling this way. What do you think, Anne Marie?
I would coincide with that. What I feel is that you have been, I think sometimes when we can't sleep, it's because our dreams carry such heavy messages that we don't want to face them. And
Hmm.
what I'm shown is that there have been a lot of heavy doubts for you
Oh
lately,
yeah,
and that
yeah.
there's been a sense that people that you have been communicating with just don't get you like they used to. And there's a feeling that you feel that intuitively you're missing something. And I believe that your dreams are going to carry a message for you. But I think you're also going to have to, like, one of the ways I advertised this show today was that Joseph and I were going to read on the tornado of your life crisis. I believe that is perhaps a tornado life crisis going on within you. And one of the things that your reading says is don't stop believing in yourself. There's a feeling that you are going to notice that in April and May, your sleep comes back. Many of the doubts that you have are going away. And I would say face your dreams. There's a heavy message in them, and get a notebook down across next to your bed and write down any of the dreams that you remember. I believe you may not make sense of them now, but I think if you kind of focus on just going into autopilot, you'll find that there's a lot of heavy messages that subliminally come through for you. And I think you're going to feel a whole lot better. And I think your sleep will come back.
Yeah, and actually, your self-esteem should improve. Like I said, I mean, there is something about you that many people find attractive, and if you're not feeling that you're being noticed, that's coming. And
And you know what?
really,
Sometimes when we go through a life transition and we always have been noticed, we always have found it easy to stand out, but suddenly,
hmm,
due to life crisis or due to a change in our appearance or due to a change in our energy level, we kind of become invisible. And that can be
yeah,
heavy shit sometimes,
hmm.
excuse my language, for anybody who is going through that. Isn't there some kind of male enhancement vitamin or something out? No, no, no. I no,
Well,
no,
you
no,
know
no.
what?
I'm not
No,
talking
well,
about
no,
sex.
no. I know
I'm
what you
talking
mean. I know what you mean. I was just
in
being,
in
it just strikes me funny now when I hear those words, and actually, it's because of what's always on TV. But you know what? There are vitamins
energy
appropriate for your
vitamins.
set. No, you go to a health food store, and there are vitamins appropriate for your age and your gender. And I take a vitamin that's all natural, and it's for men over 50 because I am over 50. And when and actually, I feel a huge difference in my energy levels. Look
Hmm.
for something called trace minerals and try to get some of those. Maybe you're lacking and some potassium, magnesium, all sorts of things. If you're having cramps, my dear, eat some bananas. If you can't
This
eat
is a guy.
bananas,
This is
take
Russell.
some
This is Russell.
potassium. I know
This is
it's Russell.
Russell.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I call them my
He
dear.
doesn't have
Okay, dear
cramps.
Russell. Dear Russell, if you have, I get guys get cramps. You can get leg
Okay.
cramps and Charlie
Not
horses,
like.
and you don't want to have a big cramp like a heart attack. That's a big cramp. I mean, get your potassium, get your, but no, I get cramps in my toes and but it's like think about what you're consuming, and like if you're having a lot of coffee, a lot of tea, a lot of pops and these sports drinks and diuretics and things that take away magnesium from your body. And I'm not a doctor, I just read up a lot about the things that I need for my body. And so when someone says I have no energy, I'm not sleeping, I'm sleeping too much, actually, before we get supernatural, really do look at what's going on physically. Okay, try to see, like, what am I eating that's dragging me down? Am I getting enough protein? And then things like, am I getting out? Am I moving around? Am I walking? What am I doing? Do I need more exercise? And really, and as for hiding about something, I discovered that if I have a weird little trait, I would just play it. Um,
A little
I'll just
what? A
use,
weird little
if I
what?
have a weird, if I have something weird about my face, people had always made some remarks about I have scary eyebrows. Well, you know what? Hey,
Scary. Hey, your eyebrows are in right now. Thick
you know,
eyebrows are really in
I,
right now.
well, I've always used to try to make them look normal. And then at one point I decided, this is what I look like. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go through these games trying to make myself look normal. This is my face. And so this is how it is. And this is my hair.
Isn't there a commercial? This guy, hair follicle implants. This is my
So
hair. I really
thought
can
for
comb
today
this hair.
about, yeah, yes. So think I have just probably answered all the questions that you didn't ask. Nobody wanted to know.
That's okay. That's okay. We're going to go to
Good luck,
Jan.
Russell.
Jan is from LA, and she says, "Can I have a reading?" So I guess anything that comes up.
I'm gonna let you go first
All right.
because
So if I look at Jan and what comes up on Jan, and what comes through says, Jan, at this particular time, you have been going through a resurgence of your empowerment. I feel that you are getting back on your horse after a bad session in your life. And your reading says that at this time, concentrate on only going towards the things that make you look good or that you can do well. Quit running your tires over and over and over on the things that you don't do well and kicking yourself in the butt because so and so or this or that didn't work out for you. Instead, concentrate on hanging out with the people that do work for you. Get away from the ones that hurt you or that don't or find fault with you. I also believe that empowerment means knowing what your niche is, whether that niche is a hobby or whether that niche is just what you love to do as a person. Those are the things that are going to help you. It also says understand that just because you work twice as hard as anybody else, or just because you do twice as many favors for other people, does not mean that you will be more liked. Because unfortunately, we live in a society that seems to love to kiss ass. And what that means is that if you continuously do favors for people, or if you continuously knock your brains out to do an amazing job, what happens is people expect it, but they almost take advantage of it. So I would say it's always good to be a good person. Don't stop being a good person. But remember, giving more than you have to, or being twice as hardworking as everybody else, is not going to let you be treated fairly. Unfortunately, sometimes you just need to take your bitch pill, which means stop knocking your brains out to please and please yourself at this time. It'll help you to empower yourself and feel more appreciated and take the bitterness away from you. And that's what I have.
that is really amazingly close. And it's funny. The final card that I drew was the Hanged Man,
Mm.
which shows that I see a crossroads, up ahead, and she might be noticing it now, or thinking, there's so much I want to do, but I don't know how to go about it. And so the cards also say that it's a sign that you should stop and relax and look at the ways you might need to regain control of some life situations. If you're thinking about leaving a job and stuff, it's like, well, take the relaxed approach. Relax, because actually, these places and areas in your life, you'll notice that they're all cycles, really. I mean, there are times when things just like really suck and you want to get out, and then you think, oh, actually that improved. Actually, I don't have to deal with that. But but you know what, if it is something that you're noticing that there's a bit too many of these dark clouds, I'm seeing here that the hangman is telling you that maybe it's time you could let go of it, even if sometimes maybe, even in our personal lives, like say if you're trying very hard to get somebody interested in you, or sometimes you have to let go of these interests, because it's not going to work out. So that's what I'm seeing, though. I mean, I'm seeing that you're going to make a decision, and you have to make a choice, and I see that you're going to go about this in a relaxed way, which is what's recommended. Take your time and and take a good look at stuff. I see that working out, though.
Susan from Massachusetts says, "Hi, Anne-Marie and Joseph as well.
Hi,
I am
Susan.
interested. I am interested in to know if there will be a move for me this year, or if I will be staying where I am at for now. And by the way, I share space with 3 other adults and a cat. Also, Joseph, it works for me
Oh,
right now. Blessings."
doesn't it? And like I said, this is it for now, and it's working. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, what I drew here, what we got here is the Two of Cups, and I like cups. They're always they're symbols of love and prosperity and some kind of a gain. And in the case of the Two of Cups, and in regard to your move, I'm seeing it referring to a partnership that is going to be a part of your move. And it's one that is very good, it's very balancing, and it's a friendship type of thing, and it's joy. And it's, I don't know, it seems like you're in love or soon to be, and it seems to be really cool. Um, I'm seeing things likely to go really well with the move. I see that all around, coming soon, is that, and if you don't notice it now, but you are going to be appreciated in many areas of your life and your workplace, and stuff like that. And if you're looking for a job, I'm seeing a comfortable place, and everything being very comfortable. And I think it's really due to this relationship. I mean, because I'm seeing this great balance, just wonderful balance. So um, I'm seeing that now. You might not be rolling in money, but at the moment, but you should have enough money to meet your obligations if you're moving. I think you're going to find a place that it seems like you're going to find a place that you could actually afford. It might be a bit, difficult, but you can do this. I've seen it working out because you're both so good at, with this. I don't see you doing it by yourself. I do see this partnership making it possible. I'm seeing both people putting in to make it work. That's what I'm seeing. So if you don't know anybody now, man, this is, you know,
Mhm.
yeah, but that's what I get.
Okay, and you're sticking to it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, what I have, Susan, says that you may have had a relationship in the past that went cold with someone that pretty much tore apart your life in a way that caused you to have to make a choice to stick around and tolerate it, or to be patient or to impatiently decide I can do better. My feeling is that there is still some sorrow going on in your life. But I also believe, like Joseph, that you may decide that through May or March and April, You would like to stay where you are in your safe zone, but I believe that you're going to find an amazing partner or living situation in May, June. May comes up with you as Eureka, I win. And June comes off as a life friend. And whether that life friend is a life partner or whether it's another living situation, I just see that the sorrow of the past leaves you. You leave the energy of this safe zone feeling healed. It was a great choice for you, especially during a time where you needed to have an alternative. But I think that now you're in that healing process, and I think that May, June, you are going to be ready to rock. And I think that you will find that special someone, as Joseph saw at that time. And that's what I see.
Yeah, comfort all around. I'm seeing comfort, comfort, comfort. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, just yeah.
So we have, okay, Russell again.
Hi, Russell.
Russell from Cleveland
Is this another? Oh,
says,
it's the same Russell.
"Oh, Matt, oh, it's same person. I just hit 50 in October as well.
Oh,
No
oh, hi,
cramps,
Russell.
Joseph. No
Oh, well, I'm
cramps,
glad you
Joseph."
don't. I'm glad you don't have cramps, Russell. I mean,
but but
really,
it
I
felt
am.
but did feel a tightness in the chest and put on some weight lately.
Well, you know what? Start slow. I walk. I walk around the block with the dogs, and then we sit and take a break, and then sometimes we walk again. And what I do miss was the mile walk or 2 mile walk that was in a farm path. It was a farm path, and I could let the dog run on ahead of me, and he always stayed within sight, and I can take my time. And actually, the thing is, always allow yourself time to relax. Allow your heart muscles a chance to relax, because that's what hurts people. Is, like if they're out shoveling snow and they just keep plugging away. Hey, you're not impressing anybody. You're not going to gain from this. You're going to get yourself killed. So be smart. Even if you're young, you have to really be smart about it. Extreme, starting off with a regimen of any kind without a build-up can really cause some pain and some unnecessary things you don't need. But you know what? It's probably not as bad as you think, my friend, really, because there are people who have never met you before and they have no idea what you used to look like if you're not happy with, any weight gain. And then this way, when you slowly return to your other self, sometimes stress can do that to you too.
But wouldn't you
Cortisol.
advise Russell to please go have a physical too? I mean,
Yeah,
it sounds like if
I
you're
think if
having,
you're Yeah, and like I always said, before we look at the spiritual and the supernatural possibilities of what's going on with you, I would say look at the physical. Really wouldn't hurt to have a little physical by your doctor. And if you haven't established the doctor, it's a good way to get acquainted with your doctor, and just see if maybe you need something. Like I
I
said, they
feel
might have a
though,
recommendation for you. You know.
I really feel that just like, so many people that I talk to say that they go to a psychic instead of mental health counseling because they like the way they feel with a psychic better. But I always say, I am not a trained therapist. So therefore, by all means, I will help read for you and tell you what I see and give you subject matter that you may want
Mhm.
to bring up to a counselor. But do not, if you have a problem, rely on completely. I mean, this is my opinion. I know that there are many homeopathic alternative people that will
Mhm.
absolutely not see a doctor and will only go to homeopathics. But I believe that in this world, there's room for both. I believe
Yeah.
that you can have both traditional medicine as well as alternative and homeopathic alternative medicine,
A
holistic
combo of
medicine.
all of it is actually kind
Yes,
of a really
yes.
good balance.
I think it's
But if I
silly
if
to
I
make
need my
one.
tonsils out, if my tonsils are really infected and
Oh,
it's getting, you're gonna have to go in and have the surgery.
You
You know.
did you ever see the
You know.
Seinfeld one where George has tonsils and he goes to the doctor and Kramer convinces him, "Oh man, don't do it. There's people that die from doctors taking
Right.
tonsils." And
Right.
he takes him to this holistic homeopathic guy that just got out of prison, and this guy comes out and does a chant and beats drums and puts a triangle over his head and gives him an
Right.
herb, but he's allergic to the herb and turns purple and his tongue swells up. So they have to
Right.
drag him from the ambulance all the way to the, I guess what it means is don't immediately assume that all doctors are screwed up and there are many that are over doctor, but I believe
Hmm.
there are more and more. I have noticed more and more psychiatrists who are now also um, spiritualists that do readings. And I also
Yeah.
believe that there's homeopathics that also have traditional medicine in their background. And
Well,
to me, yeah.
it's the thing is, even as say, if I was say a doctor or nutritionist, I it would be really totally incompetent of me to have a diagnosis or a suggestion for Russell regarding anything about his habits. You know what I mean? Like, but I do think doctors should say things, ask of people, like, what's your diet like? What sort of things do you eat on a daily basis all the time? I mean, what's typical? You know, because a lot of times there's things that we think are healthy that are out there, and we don't look too closely about what's in them. And then sometimes those products that we think are so healthy actually are making another problem. You know, so
Yes.
like say I knew somebody who drank a soft drink that was a combination. I won't mention the name of it. It was a combination of fruit juice and vegetable juice, and it sounded really healthy. And he drank it all the time. And this poor man was fighting his triglyceride levels; they were always so high. Well, he mentioned it to me. Now, I'm not a know-it-all, but I just asked. I said, "Are you drinking anything with high fructose corn syrup in it? Because I heard that can raise your triglyceride levels." And because what that stuff in beverages gives your kidneys and stuff, and it raises your blood sugar. It throws off your blood sugar so much that it increases these triglycerides. It's really awful for you. Um, and he stopped drinking it, and his levels went down. They were normal.
Oh,
And
good.
but he was fighting these levels all this time, and he thought he was drinking healthy things and eating healthy things, and because it looked healthy, it sure looked healthy, but he didn't read the ingredients and didn't understand some of the stuff, the effect that some of those ingredients have on the human body in general. And this is all documented stuff. I mean, it's a known fact that we have problems with this product, this type of sugar sweetener in foods. And they're eliminating the use of it as much as they can these days. But there's still a lot of it out there. It's in most of your soft drinks. It's in many of your juice drinks. Your fruit juice cocktails are not 100%. It's like 10%, and the rest is sugar. So really think about what you're eating. Maybe you could even avoid the doctor if you just look at what you're eating and see how you feel. And sometimes you can get a better idea of what you should do.
I was thinking about, I was talking to somebody that had a health food company that specialized in stevia, which is
Oh, I
an
love that
herb
stuff.
replacement of
It's
sugar.
great. I use it.
However, however, they
Yeah.
made other products, and some of those products were made from corn,
Yes.
and some of those products were not. Glucose. What is that thing that everybody's doing now? Um, Glucose intolerant or whatever. Not
Oh,
not.
yeah. A
What is
glucose
that?
Gluten-free.
Gluten
Well,
free.
many
And
people have an allergy to glucose, which is actually what no,
wheat.
no gluten, which is a wheat. It's part of wheat. It's wheat, really, I guess. And yeah, go on.
But it's
Yeah.
almost gotten to the ridiculous point because I believe that just like the Atkins diet and like the paleo diet, I believe that now it's begun to be the extreme of the gluten-free diet. And I think a lot of times if people will just take a probiotic, which
Mhm.
puts that good bacteria in your system, that will take care
Well,
of a lot of that too.
here's the thing. The wheat that is harvested for most commercial breads and that ends up in most commercial products has been harvested with insecticide or poison to kill the wheat. Okay, and so it's easier to harvest. So all that poison goes on to the wheat, plus of all the insecticides that is, and then we have the wheat is genetically modified to not get to not be harmed by the insecticide.
Mhm.
So that's why they could use the insecticide. The trouble is, when it becomes flour, when it becomes bread, and people are eating this poison and this genetically modified stuff, it makes me wonder if are you gluten intolerant, or are you intolerant of the process that brought you this wheat? Okay.
Because people have
Um,
been eating wheat and bread from
right.
thousands and thousands and thousands of generations,
Right. So
years.
try for an experiment. Now, I don't know if you even want to take the chance. Maybe you shouldn't, but you know what? I tend to do this sort of thing. I will go and get the organic version of the thing I'm allergic to and see if I still am. And I would be very careful with it and don't be alone. Make sure that, tell people you're with, I'm going to try this. Make sure you call 911 when I start to like explode or something. But the thing is, I found out that I could eat free-range chickens, but I was never able to eat the normal, regular, commercially produced chickens.
But
I
Joseph,
I, I get
Joseph,
I get
not all.
anaphylactic shock from eating anything that was grown with these hormones, and now I could eat these. But not everybody. This is not something that I'm saying. If yeah, see your doctor, but also your doctor should be asking you what you're eating, because if you're eating a bunch of stuff that's poisonous, well, that's one thing, and they might not even know that you're doing this, and so they're going to give you meds to for your symptoms and stuff, and you're still consuming the stuff that's causing the problem. So I always hope that doctors have suggestions for or ask questions about a person's diet. you know
And we want to remember that Easter is the rebirthing of getting our houses clean, getting our bodies
yes,
clean, and getting that exercise. We have
and lots
58
of leftover
seconds.
ham.
Say your prayer real quick. Say your prayer. We got 54
Okay.
seconds. Actually, we don't have time.
I bring I bring the cosmic forces into my body, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. I bring the cosmic forces into my body, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com.